Let's just go right into this one.
Okay, so according to Adam Schefter, Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury while throwing during the early portion of practice today. That's why he was held out for the rest of the session, answering our question from earlier in the show as to why he wasn't getting any of those reps. Mary Kay also said the same thing. She added, and this is her opinion, not a fact, means he probably won't play Saturday.
Yeah.
Dustin, an oblique injury on a Wednesday, what does that mean for his status come Saturday?
I mean, if he's not practicing because of the oblique, he probably won't play. You know, those things are, and I know from playing, you know, the sport I play now is a lot more of this core than the position I played in football. But the position he plays in football, it's all core. So he's got to make sure that area, because you do any sort of, you know, twisting and throwing and contortion, all that stuff is going to be painful. So I'm guessing he's probably down for the next week.
Probably. I mean, baseball, pitchers get an oblique injury, you're down a month.
Yeah.
So it's 4 to 6 weeks with obliques, usually, roughly, in baseball.
Does it matter the severity? I mean, we have
severity always matters.
We have no idea the severity.
He could
of
have
this.
just tweaked it, and it could be a couple-day thing.
Right.
And maybe he plays on Saturday. Obviously, there's speculation there from Mary Kay. I'm guessing it's probably an informed speculation, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she probably has a little insight on it more than we do. But I mean, the good news is the guy played really well, so they have some tape of him and know what he can do. But it's unfortunate because I do think he was going to get a lot of reps on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was going to play half the game.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely think the plan was for Gabriel to play half and Shedeur to play half, assuming health. Now you have 3 of your 4 quarterbacks, by the way, all dealing with some sort of injury, and the 41-year-old,
the old man,
somehow
is
the healthiest of the 3.
Yeah.
Just a question, and we have no idea, no information. If he heard it throwing earlier in the day or earlier in the practice, does that tend to be more of a strain? I feel like it'd be tough to tear an oblique, because usually when you tear an oblique, Jason, that's from like the full-on swing.
Oh, you're saying like maybe he wasn't like going like 100%, like in terms of how hard he was throwing, or how much
torque
exertion he was.
Exactly, because like with Giancarlo Stanton on the Yankees, every time he swings a bat, he ends up straining his oblique, and he swings the bat so hard, and it's always he's a right-handed hitter, so when he swings, it's his backside oblique.
So put it this way, when I golf, I don't golf very often, and I don't golf very well. I have one of those orange ball things in my bag that you swing trainer, like just to help warm up the swing. Mm-hmm. And I use that so that I don't get up there on the tee box and try to swing out of my shoes and tear an oblique. You know, you want to try to get yourself warmed up. I'm sure he does all that stuff, but either way, the amount of stress that he put on it, being early in practice, I think it's actually a good take by you. It hopefully is not as bad. It wasn't a full live drill where he was really like. That's when you pull muscles or really tear muscles, is when you're going harder than you probably should, or you're trying to really get.
Trying to squeeze in a ball.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to.
You let it rip.
You know, guys, you know, tear their Achilles, you know, going for a ball they shouldn't go for, or they do something that they, you know, just try to push their limitations. So. Again, we're not doctors. Who the hell knows?
Right. Yeah.
But we're hoping that it's not as serious as a 4 to 6 week thing as it could be, like a pitcher.
It would be very disappointing, from just me personally speaking, if this is the end of the Shedeur experience in camp. If this injury is a 2-3 week injury.
What a Brownsian way to just sort of, you know, whimper out of training camp.
No,
it's been fun training camp.
It's what I'm saying. It's been like, this has been the storyline we've watched.
Yeah. You won't have all your followers on the post-game show.
I know. Well, it's the Gabriel Lights are gonna make it a light post-game show. But like Sal Paolantonio was on ESPN this morning from joint practice before it started. The Eagles are defending Super Bowl champions, and the question was, what's Shedeur Sanders? The first question they asked him on SportsCenter is, what's the Browns' plan for Shedeur today? And he was like, well, Kevin Stefanski's talking a little bit. We'll find out when he says. But early indications are the joint practice reps will go to the starters. Shedeur and Dylan will play in the game. It's the biggest story in camp, and it'd be an absolute bummer.
You know, our shows and things we talk about, ESPN's going to play the hits. You know, you know, people want to know what Shedeur is doing.
Yeah.
The fact that he played well in that preseason game, and the Nike commercial, like all this, dude. I mean, it's a big-ass story.
And it would be a shame if the only glimpse of Shedeur that we got against real competition, not the 3s and the 4s, is that Carolina game where he looked every bit of a competent quarterback. I understand competition is what it is, but like he showed things that translate regardless of who you're playing. And if this is the end of the Shedeur training camp experience, because he's going to miss 2-3 weeks potentially with an oblique injury, it'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
And it feels very, you're right, Brownsy, and that's how it would come to an end. On a pre-practice warm-up throw that he strained an oblique on.
I just can't believe that they had 4 quarterbacks and 3 of them have already been hurt.
That's the old guy.
Mid-August. Pickett with the hamstring.
Well, and
we're going to get 3
Gabriel
quarters.
had a hammy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And now an oblique. It's like, dude, what are we doing with our quarterbacks? Quarterbacks should be getting like muscle injuries.
And you would think between the 4 of them, there's fewer reps to go around than it's not like it's just one guy and it's like, oh, he threw a million passes.
It's not like these guys have an elbow or a shoulder, something they're actually, putting a little wear and tear on.
Right.
Or like, you take a shot and you're out with a concussion or something. Like it's a hamstring.
Yeah. Yeah. And now an oblique. I just hope, we were talking earlier about Pickett. If the job is his, he's not taking 7-on-7 reps. I just hope Shedeur doesn't try and rush back, give this thing time to heal. And hopefully it is just a few days. I'd be surprised because obliques typically are not just a couple of days. It would have to be very, very mild for it to be just a couple of days.
Not good. Not fun.
Not great.
Yeah, not ideal. I want to see what the kid could do. And the more preseason games, that's when he was going to get his most reps, his most opportunities. And, hopefully, to Jason's point, it's a day or two kind of thing, couple days. But I just go back.
Well, Shedeur is going to want to compete, and he wants to play. So if it's a serious thing and he can't go, then it is what it is. But if it's not, he's going to want to be back out there to play in this game. He knows he needs the reps, he needs opportunities to prove he's a competitor. I mean, the guy.
He's a tough-ass kid, too.
It's Deion Sanders' kid, man.
He's a tough-ass kid.
He knows how to compete.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, the kid knows how to compete.
And
he may not be able to read a playbook yet, but he knows how to freaking compete.
And when you look at what he took and the punishment he took at Colorado behind that offensive line, there's no question this dude's toughness.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is proven on a football field. He's a
good kid,
so,
and all those things. He just needs to learn how to play the position at a professional level.
Yeah.
And that's what preseason games are for, to help him expedite that process.